Greetings, my fellow normies. I hope you're all doing well today. Just We got a little news on Stargate from one of the original developers and writers and stuff based on the movies, and they had other plans for the movies that they tried to introduce to the TV shows, but weren't able to do so. So this article from GateWorld.net states Mayan Stargate, Devlin reveals original Stargate trilogy plans. 26 years ago this month, Stargate arrived in movie theaters, whisking away viewers to a distant planet in what would become a new sci-fi franchise. Co-writer Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich shot Stargate with any studio involvement, and if it was successful, they planned to make it a feature film trilogy. They went in a 1994 movie with plans already in mind for those two new movies. Does the Stargate go to other planets? Who else has visited Earth in the distant past? What role would Daniel Jackson and Jack O'Neill play in Alien Threat to Earth? Which we've gotten all that, of course, in TV shows, which I think TV shows done very well at it and stuff. I think with this current situation we're in right now, I think that a lot of trilogies, I think, in my opinion, would do better off in regards to going to TV instead of movies. I know that everybody wants to get back to the movie experience and stuff, but sometimes things are just too complicated that you can't really do well in a trilogy sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And stuff. And I think people are getting burnt out of that. And the current state that we're in right now, I'm just not sure that it's just the right direction to go. You know what I'm saying? So the film trilogy was not to be, with MGM buying the franchise and sending it to television instead. In a new interview, Dial the Gate, Devlin reveals never before known details about what he and Emmerich had planned for two sequels. And no, 1996 Independence Day wasn't a rewrite of Stargate's sequel. Devlin said that the original plans were to use Stargate's 8th and 9th chevrons to go to other worlds, and just as the planet Abydos evidenced a connection to ancient Egypt, these other worlds would be connected to different ancient cultures on Earth. Now, if you remember your Stargate lore and history, the 8th chevron basically dials another solar system and stuff. This is the first time that Jack O'Neill he got downloaded information from the ancients, and he built some device to give more power to the Stargate, which in turn gave it the opportunity to dial Chevron 8 and stuff. And then if you remember Stargate Universe, they did the same thing by using the core of a planet in order to dial the 8th chevron, or 9th chevron, I think it was, and stuff. So he states more pyramids, more mythology. And this is what I loved about Stargate. It brought about all of the basically forbidden history, I guess you want to say. And I'm not saying talking about Stargates, but there was something mentioned in ancient lore and mythology of some type of Stargate system. I'm not saying like Stargate that we see in the TV show, but some type of interdimensional gateway of some sort in the same fashion. But we don't know what that really was and stuff like that. And I really appreciated the mythology that Stargate did and stuff. I think it really, I think that's what kind of brought about a lot of people enjoying it and liking it and coming back for more and more and more, you know. The original plan of the movie was to do 3 movies, and so there was going to be 3 major addresses, and that's why we needed the 9 chevrons. Parts 2 and 3 would also use seven chevron addresses, but with a different chevron light on the Stargate to travel to a different planet. We had big plans for it, but we never got to explore it, he said. there are two different places on Earth that are famous for pyramids, and one was Egyptian, and our second one was Mayan. Very true, very true. And they're finally finding out, I believe, not large pyramids, but pyramid mounds in North America and all that too as well, and a tunnel system and all kinds of stuff and all that. A lot of people tend to think it might be druids or something like that, or there's just a lot of weird stuff that we've never been taught or talked about when it comes to our history. So, and then the third was going to tie in almost every mystery that we've had on Earth. Whether it was Bigfoot or a Yeti, we were going to tie everything together to larger mythology, and it was going to be much more fun. It was going to be so much wild, but we never got to go there. But the thing is, you know, to be honest, the TV show explored that, like the furlings and different type of species and stuff like that were not human or hominid. You know what I'm saying? Or and all that. The furlings were giant teddy bears essentially. So if you could say essentially Bigfoot or a Yeti or something like that, but they were furlings and stuff like that. And then there was other type of advanced races and all that. So to be honest, I mean, I'm kind of glad that they didn't do it because I think it would have kind of confused things, especially if they jumped into the TV shows. I think, granted, the TV shows and the movies are kind of separate and all that stuff, but still, the rest of Devin and Erminich's story was never told on the big screen. The 5 follow-up novels were published by Penguin and Putnam, written by Bill McKay. They pick up the story where the films left off, and they tell a different tale than the television series that would come later, including other worlds and other race aliens foes. And this is the one thing too that kind of, and I don't know if it was a budget thing, but I mean, I'm sure this show was pretty expensive to produce and all that, but we only saw aliens every once in a while. For the most part, we got humans, you know what I'm saying, and all that, which I totally understand because the Goa'uld kind of littered the universe with the actual humans, stuff like that, because they were basically stock, you know what I'm saying, so to ore minerals and all that, and so on and so forth. So Devlin said that he is a huge fan of McCoy's novels. He worked with him on the original ones, and I'm really proud of those, and I support those entirely. He said in an interview, he said that he does consider books to be canonized extensions of the film universe, stories that could have been folded into the film trilogy 100%. He says he's a very good writer. He really liked him a lot, blah, blah, blah. A 1994 feature film was a big hit, earning nearly 200 million worldwide and setting a record for October theatrical release, but those two movies weren't in the cards. The rights to Stargate and the key figures of the future stories went to MGM because the film's financiers got cold feet. The film was made entirely independently, Devin said. MGM agreed to release the film when no one else would release it because no one believed in the movie. And the week before the movie opened, people who had financed the movie, which was a group out of France. They were so sure they had a bomb, they sold the movie to MGM for $5 million. So then MGM owned the movie. Fans who know the history of Stargate franchise know that in subsequent years, Devlin and Emmerich approached MGM about making 2 sequels in the planned trilogy, but were rebuffed, opting instead to take the property to television. With Brad Wright and Jonathan Glassner, created SG-1 for the show in 1997. Going to television, Roland and I went and met with them, MGM, talked about the series, and they said, "Oh, we don't really want you guys involved," Devin said. It was a very painful thing for a long time because we're watching someone else raise your child. It's very hard. Devlin said candidly he was hostile towards the television series for some time, citing in particular its use of full frontal nudity in first episode, but he said he eventually came around to recognize that its longevity and its fans base showed that the producers of Stargate's 17 seasons on TV were good due to good work. Many years later, it was obvious to me that even though I had not been watching the show, that they must have been doing something right, he said, because you don't get to live that long. You don't get to have that many fans. You don't get to find the passion unless you've got a really good show. And that kind of ends that article and stuff. And I've got to say, for anybody who's a Stargate fan out there and stuff, I mean, my God, yes, 17 seasons with, I think, was it like 10 seasons of SG-1, 5 of Atlantis, and I think 2 or 3 of Universe. I didn't really care for Universe. I really enjoyed Stargate Atlantis and stuff. I mean, that's what really pulled me into the show and stuff like that. Everything was done so well, very well. It's probably one of my most beloved franchises, and now there's talk of not rebooting, but making a new Stargate show because you don't need a reboot and stuff like that. You can go in any direction you want. Just dial another solar system. You know what I'm saying? And all that. You just need more power. But I think that we might, we keep hearing about more and more and more stuff about Stargate and all that, and that's for the best. And with everything going on right now, I think that we should hope that we can get some more Stargate. But I'm also got my reservations because of the wokeness and bullshit and stuff like that. But the thing is what Stargate did well was balance that medium between female and male characters and leads and so on and so forth. I mean, who didn't like Colonel Carter and stuff? You know what I'm saying? And all that, even with O'Neill and all them and Teal'c and Daniel and all that, you know what I'm saying? Or even on Atlantis too as well. You had your good female characters that drove the show, and you had your good male actors and so on and so forth. But I have to say, if they can bring that formula back and bring the mythology, because that's what Stargate's all about. It's all about the mythology. I call it the forbidden history of things that mainstream archaeologists and historians and stuff will not touch and all that stuff. I've got my ideas about certain things, um, just a lot of different things. I don't want to discuss my personal thoughts. Maybe I will at some other point, maybe on a different channel. But I just want to keep this kind of entertainment stuff and all that. But I'm going to end it out. I want you to like, subscribe, share. I know a lot of you are listening, so I want you to like, share, subscribe. All right? Take care. Bye.